I'm going to do a bunch of monsters. Let's start with this guy. So we'll open Nomad. So I'll go to Scene, Add, and we'll just make a floor. I'll do my customary cylinder floor that I always do. And I'll use my gizmo. Can we save the project? And this will be a monster 103. So we'll just make this a little bit bigger, and then we'll use this to shrink it. And we'll move it down to about here. And let's go ahead and make this softer. So we'll tap those 3 dots, subdivision to 2, and we'll bring this down a little bit. Maybe we'll bring that up to 3. We'll do something like that. So we'll validate it. It's lined up with the bottom of this red line. So now we can get rid of the grid because we know where that line is. All right, so I'm not sure if we'll use the default sphere. We'll move it up for now. But let's bring in the image. So we'll tap here, reference image, import, photos, bring in our monster, close that, transform so we can transform the size to wherever we want. I think that looks pretty good. Okay. Let's hide the floor for now. So we'll tap on Scene and we'll hide the cylinder. Let's rename it Floor so there's no confusion later. So we'll hide that. Okay, so this shape is mostly, it looks like almost like a beaker. So let's start there. Let's use lathe. Let's hide the sphere as well. So we'll tap lathe here. And then over here, let's tap curve and make sure that we have fixed highlighted. So curve and fixed. So now you see this line that goes straight down. So if our reference looks like this, let's imagine that this line going straight down is going straight down the center of this character. So in order to draw this, I would start here, which would be the center line. I would start here, go out, and then over, and then back to the center line. So we just want to pretend that we're only going to create one half of him. So we'll go here, we'll go out, and we'll go down. Looks like it curves out a little bit, and then it comes back to the center line. You let go, and you pretty much have what you need. So mine's a little messed up, but you can see that these nodes are, I don't know why they actually came out that funny, but sometimes they do. Let's try it again. So we'll start here, we'll go out, we'll go down and over, and we'll bring it back. So now we have a shape like this, which is pretty good, but it's not really matching what we need. So you can move these nodes around. We can straighten out that top. If you have an extra node like this, you can just get rid of it by dragging them into each other. So this edge is sharp, so it's almost like a hard angle. So let's just tap this node, and then you have a hard angle. Okay, so it looks like it just sort of goes out a little bit. So we'll just move these around. We can get rid of this one. Just keep that bottom straight. And this, you can see how it's more of a more defined edge there. So we'll just kind of spread these out a little bit and bring them closer to each other, and we can pretty much get that edge. Okay, so I think that's a pretty good likeness for that shape. He might be a little bit more rotund, but I think that's pretty good for the shape. So now we can go ahead and validate it. But let's say you wanted to actually make a beaker. So you wanted to make this shape, but you wanted to make it hollow inside. So we'll start here. We'll go out. We go up, and we make the side wall. So I'm just going to make this. This is how thick the glass is going to be, or whatever it is. Let's make the bottom a little bit thicker, and then we come back. Now let's say we want this to be sort of a flat. Okay, we can add another node here just by tapping on the white path, and we'll just make both of these hard edges. So let's name this monster first. Or let's name this body. Maybe. Let's add a sphere. So let's bring this back to world center. Let's turn the grid on. We'll hit front. So we need to bring this back to world center. So let's tap the gizmo and let's just hit reset. So I'll just move it up so that the bottom is where that red line is. So we'll go back to the sphere. Let's turn the grid off. Let's bring the sphere up. We'll shrink it. So let's go ahead and validate this. We'll go to our scene and just name it ear. Make sure that I'm in symmetry. Go here to vertex, switch to vertex. The way that this works is if I go to the symmetry and turn show line on, see the red line? So I'd have to pull it this way for it to work the way that I want. But since I want it to go up and down, I'm just going to switch the symmetry from the red line to the green line. And then you're going to say, okay, like, why don't I see the green line? And that's because the green line is all the way down here going across the project, not across the sphere, because it's going across the world. It's not locally going across the sphere. So we need to change it so that we can see it locally for the sphere and not the whole world. So we'll go to symmetry. We'll change from world to local. So now the symmetry is based off the local position of the sphere. So now when we look at it, we can see this green line going right in the middle. And then we can use the green arrow, and then we can open it up to that pill shape. All right, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and turn off symmetry. So we'll go to our symmetry, just put it back to X, tap Y off. I'm gonna change from local to world. So now we'll just move it into place. You can shrink it a bit. And I might want to stretch it a little bit. There we go, that looks pretty good. So now let's create a mirror. So we go here, make sure that we're on ear, add, mirror, and now we see it's to the other side. And now next we can start with these two shapes. So I'm not sure if I want to make them round or kind of like a coin, but let's start with them round. So we'll add a sphere, and let's make sure we take it out of this mirror. And we'll use our gizmo, we'll move it up, forward, shrink it to about there. We can go ahead and tap mirror, and we'll slide it over. Let's move them back into the body a bit more. That looks good. And we can flatten them. We'll flatten them and then use the ring to kind of rotate them so they fit a little bit better on the body. That looks pretty good. So we'll have to come back to the eyes and we'll do the pupils. Let's do his little legs now. Let's go ahead and add another sphere. Let's take it out of this mirror. And we can go ahead and validate it. So let's shrink it. And we'll move it over. Let's shrink it some more. Stretch it a little bit. And let's use, I don't know if I'm going to make it exactly like this. So I'm going to use drag, I think. I think drag might work. And I just want to kind of just like stretch and pull it. I think I like a shape like this. I think that's a nice little peanut shape. I think that'll work. So now I'm going to do pivot, center, pivot, just to center the pivot point. I'll move it up and over. Oh, I think I have, let me turn that off. Okay, so I'm going to name this leg. So now we just want to create a radial so that we can have these going all around. That's how I interpret this. So we're on the legs, we'll add a radial. It's the correct radial, which is the green, so we don't have to change. If it was one of the other ones, then we might have to change it, but green seems like it's the right one. So now we can just raise this number by sliding. I think that looks pretty good. I think that's a good amount of legs. I'm going to tap on one, and it seems like it should be turned just a little bit. Okay, I think I like that. And the only other thing that I want, I'm going to use drag. I think I just want to make the edge a little bit wider here. Yes, I like it. All right, let's make some little arms. I think we'll use the same method. Let me make sure I label all these. So let's make some arms. Let's go to the body and hit add sphere. And I just went to the body so it doesn't insert these in one of our previous mirrors. So we'll use gizmo, we'll bring it up. Move it over. So something like this. I'm going to go ahead and mirror and validate. And then we can use either drag or move and just kind of figure out what kind of arms we want this little monster to have. And of course, this is all up to you and what you're feeling for his arms. So I think I'm happy with these arms for now. So I'm going to take these and validate them. So I've tapped on the mirror part. I'm going to validate them. And then with the body, I'm going to validate this together. This is also going to increase the resolution of the body so we can create the mouth. So I'm just going to swipe up here. This is my little shortcut. It's the same as the voxel remesh up here. Exactly the same. So let's do about 175. And we can just smooth it out. We'll just smooth this a little bit. Okay, make sure symmetry is on when you're smoothing as well. I'm going to smooth around the eyes as well, just to sort of make it a bit flatter there, so the eyes will appear more round. Let's add a cylinder. Let's go to our material and turn smooth shading off. Let's tap the little gizmo, and we can actually validate it. So let's bring it up and forward. And let's do snap, and it should be on 90 by default. Oops, the gizmo. And we'll just snap it forward like this. So we can shrink it. So I think I want the mouth to be about that wide or so. Trim, rectangle. You just make a rectangle above. I think something like that looks good. So we'll take the gizmo, we'll move it up. I like the size. I like that size of the mouth. So I'm going to push that in. That looks good. I don't know how deep I want the mouth to be, but I think about there. So now we're going to do a Boolean cut. So in order to do that, we'll just take our cylinder and the body. So we're going to select them both and then hide the cylinder. If you're having a problem hiding the cylinder, just go down here to advanced and uncheck sync visibility. Otherwise it might be weird like that. So just go to advanced and uncheck sync visibility. So now you have them both synced, hide the cylinder, and then let's just do a Boolean. Let's go ahead and voxel remesh it. I'm going to do a 175 again. So we'll remesh it and then smooth it. Our mouth did get a bit messed up. Maybe we'll voxel remesh it a bit higher. Let's try 250. And we'll smooth that. Okay, so we lost less detail there. So that's good. Sometimes I'll just voxel remesh it again and smooth it again if I'm not happy with how it's smoothed. I think that looks pretty good. And you can also adjust the mouth as well. So you can take either drag or move. Move might be good because move is more of an overall smoother movements. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger and just bring this down. So let's adjust the eyes. So we'll just tap one of them and then let's move them up and more together. And now we can add the pupils as well. So we'll just take the eyes. We'll take the whole mirror, clone it. I'm going to name this one P1. And now we'll take this one and let's turn on X-ray. Can shrink it and move it forward. Turn X-ray off. So now we can see, if we want them looking forward, you can go like that, or you can make them kind of googly like his are. And let's make teeth. So let's take this mirror as well, clone it, and we'll just name this teeth. And now we can use these spheres for teeth. So we just move them down, move them in. Put them towards the edge. Let's make them a bit smaller and thinner, and let's stretch them. He has kind of, his teeth are kind of like this. Okay. I think that looks good. I'm just rotating a little bit. Let's turn snap off. I want them to be going straight down. So now these teeth we can just clone. And I'm going to hit align. I think that'll be easier to move these around. And I'm making sure to rotate to kind of keep that roundness of the mouth. Let's clone. Maybe we'll put it a little bit more inset. There we go. I like that. It's kind of creepy. So now we'll take these and clone. I'm just going to name this BT for bottom teeth. Clone and just do the same thing we did on the top. Let's change the colors to be something more neutral so we can light it. So let's try, actually, you know what? Let's just go with the red color. Let's go with whatever color you want to actually make him. Let's do it a little bit more orange. So maybe something around there. We'll paint these black. Maybe not all the way black. Paint these black as well. Okay, looks good. The pupils, let's make black, but let's turn the roughness all the way down. We can paint those. So let's paint inside the mouth. So let's tap on the body. We'll go to layer and we'll add a layer. So this is going to be inside mouth. Okay, so we have the base, which is the red, and then we have inside mouth. So let's take the eyedropper and just grab this color. Actually, we don't really have to grab it. Let's just make this black. Let's turn the roughness up quite a bit. And let's actually turn the specular down. So let's go to, where is it? So we're in the materials. Let's turn the reflectance down. That way inside the mouth, there's no lights bouncing around. So we'll go to paint, and now we'll just paint inside here. And make sure symmetry is on. That'll make life much easier. I like it. I want my eyes to look a little bit more round, so I'm going to use move. And I'll just grab the eye. Just kind of manually round it out a little bit. I think it looks great. So let's just bring back the floor. Okay, so we'll bring back the floor. We'll select everything except the floor, and we'll just move him up. Maybe we'll make the floor a bit bigger. Okay, get rid of the grid. Okay, so now we have a little floor. So let's just add some quick lighting. So I turn the environment off. This is my eye glare environment. So I'm going to turn that off. We'll add this light, put it to 2 or so. We can clone it. And let's use a line. Let's use our gizmo and we'll just move this over so they're not on top of each other. And let's just make this a rim light or an edge light. So just rotate it until you see just a sliver of the light. There we go. We can make it a little bit brighter. Add another light, and we can just use this as a fill. So we can put it so it fills this side, but let's make it really low. Like that. And I think that's about it for lighting. I don't think you need too much more. Let's make sure we turn on post-process. So to go to the little shutter, we'll turn on post-process. And you can adjust these settings as you like. I think this looks pretty good. I don't think I have anything else. I did play with I play with bloom a little bit, but I think that's about it. Let's go ahead and turn on our environment. And let's turn it down so it's not so super bright. And that gives those nice, my eye glare environment gets these really nice pops. So if you've done my 3D classes on Skillshare, this is free. It's also on my Gumroad and Patreon, but I use it in all my sculpts. So when you're ready to export, just tap the folder, scroll down to render. Just choose your size and then export PNG. But yeah, I'm going to send this to my computer. And we are all done. Let's go ahead and tap here, the little Nomad symbol. Do 3 dots and then do a little turntable. All right. Looking forward to seeing your guys' monsters. I'm going to have some fun and mess around with this. And I'll probably record that, so if you want to watch that, then check out the next video. Keep drawing, keep sculpting. I'll see you all in the next video. This guy. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Be sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to go more in depth, then definitely check out my Skillshare classes where I am a top teacher. I have about 50 classes, both Procreate and Nomad Sculpt. I also have a few classes on Udemy, so if you want to learn more, or you just like my style, you like the way I teach, you want to support me, those are some other places that you can do it. Thanks again, keep drawing, keep sculpting. I'll see you all in the next video.